starts now.
New at 11, crews have officially cleared the halfway point in the effort to contain the 2,000-acre wildfire in Carolina Forest. Thanks for joining us at 11. I'm Rachel Bogle. Horry County Fire Rescue confirmed around 8 o'clock tonight the flames are now 55% contained. That marks an 11% jump from this time 2 days ago. While the gusty winds we've seen for much of the past week have now died down, we're likely to remain dry well into the weekend, prompting some members of the State Forestry Commission to hang their hopes on Mother Nature for additional help.
The best kind of rain, as you might expect, would be this soaking rain that people don't like when it rains for a day and a half solid, but that would help us a lot.
Unfortunately, the commission may not get its wish anytime soon, as rain chances will not return to the forecast until Sunday, and that is at the very earliest, according to our weather team.
You know, all the hours of sitting on the truck and doing your job, it's paid off.
Tonight, we're hearing directly from those who are on the front lines of this firefight. Surfside Beach firefighter Stephen Backlund is among the more than 500 first responders battling the blaze. A long and arduous effort that is fast approaching its 7th full day. Backlund admits it has been tough dealing with both the flames and the oppressive smoke, but tells us he and his colleagues have felt an overwhelming amount of support over the past week from you folks at home.
When we went to the rehab, all the neighbors and that came together had hundreds of socks sitting there. So for those people, thank you so much. That was phenomenal.
And while first responders like Backlund are eternally grateful to the public for their help, they do want to remind folks to stay as far away from the fire as possible and give crews plenty of room to do their jobs safely. Well, one place that is no stranger to wildfires is California, which is still reeling after a string of fires claimed the lives of more than 24 people back in January and wiped out entire neighborhoods. Our Julia Richardson joins me here in studio now. And Julia, you actually get to speak with some experts who have been through those wildfires and recognize the challenges facing our crews here at home. So what were they able to share with you?
Well, Rachel, even though the Carolina Forest wildfire has not been nearly as large or as destructive as the fires we saw earlier this year in Southern California, experts say there are some similarities. The biggest commonality, I'm told, is that strong winds have made relief efforts challenging for first responders.
That puts it in a kind of a precarious position if the fire continues to grow or there's a flare-up from some of the hot spots in the forest. It would move it towards the populated areas.
Former FEMA presidential appointee Mark Naveau tells me when looking at the Carolina Forest fire, strong offshore winds, especially on Thursday, were concerning to him.
I'm sure firefighters and incident commanders are taking a good look at that today and getting resources, what they call structure protection, meaning fire engines and trucks are in neighborhoods where that fire might move to protect those neighborhoods from the potential of the oncoming fire front.
And while Naveau says the weather in the coming days looks more promising, containment takes time.
They're trying to basically take down the weeds, the forest, everything that could burn, and put natural earth, dirt, between what is burnt and what could potentially burn.
And something else that will take time, the investigation into the cause of the fire after the fact.
For a simple fire could take a day. In other cases, investigations could take months, if not up to a year.
Paul Lowenthal, Division Chief Fire Marshal with the Santa Rosa Fire Department, says each major fire he's been through has also been a learning experience, not only for crews, but for communities. And he says this also comes with enforcing burn bans and red flag alerts, which Horry County has been doing in recent days.
Really, when we're making those arrests, yes, it is to punish the individual that is responsible, but at the same time, it's educating the community on what could happen, what the consequences could be of some of those activities and some of those actions. And oftentimes that one arrest may stop somebody else from doing a similar activity.
Now, I'm also told when first responders finally do contain this fire, there will still be a lot to be done, including checking if there's any infrastructure damage. Live in the studio, Julia Richardson, WMBF News.
We'll soon be getting help dealing with the aftermath of the fire from two of our local voices up in Washington, D.C. South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham and Congressman Russell Fry are set to visit Carolina Forest tomorrow morning. Well, they'll be getting a briefing on the blaze from local leaders and first responders. Our crews will also be on hand to ask both lawmakers exactly how they plan to help in fire relief efforts, and we'll work to bring you their answers tomorrow right here on WMBF News.